Oh my gosh. Have you guys ever walked into your fish room and found water all over the floor? Well, if you have, congratulations. You're definitely going to understand the name for this show. Welcome to the wet floor. And tonight's our pilot episode, Meet the Floor. Hey, thanks everybody for joining us here today. My name is Uncle Joe, Jody, and there's four of us here with very different experiences in the aquarium hobby. And that's exactly what we want this podcast to be about. We're not all here together because we always agree. We're here because conversations between different people bring up different ideas. And this is where some of the best experiences and the greatest learning can happen. You guys, thank you again so much. Tonight, we're going to introduce ourselves. We're going to talk about why we're doing this and how this unlikely group of us got together and where we hope to take this. So pull up a chair, watch your step, you guys, because this could get slippery. Thank you.
You nailed it, buddy.
We're here, you guys. How are you guys today?
Good.
Doing
I
very
tell
well.
you, this was a little bit stressful working up to this, and I just want to start off today by thanking all of you for making this possible. Thank you so very, very much, Tina Camacho, Ray Sparks, George Mexicali, Fishkeeper. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for the invite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, it was a long time thinking about this and getting into this. So
No,
it
I
was,
think this is a
pretty
very
cool.
good thing that we're doing right now, and I'm looking forward to doing whatever we're going to do tonight. Just chill out and talk with everybody else. Hello, everybody also in the chat, because I'm seeing a lot of people joining the chat right now.
I see a
Right
lot of familiar faces coming in the chat.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
what's-
so I gotta be able to see this. Oh, right on.
See
I even
Kareem?
have
What
new
only have
glasses. Right on. Uncle Smiley, how are you today? Nathan, how are you? So what have you guys been up to? Well, like this week? For me, I know we've chatted a little bit, so we kind of know, but most of it all has really had to do about this podcast and stuff. So what really like just to before we get into stuff, like what did you guys do this week? I did a lot of focus on this kind of things, but like how about you, Ray? Like what were you up to this week?
Oh, this week, we've been getting ready for adding some new plant tanks and racks into the shop. So that's been going on. We've been painting racks. We've been hanging lights on the plant rack. So that's been kind of fun. Ordering fish from this guy named Uncle Joe.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
other
yeah.
places, of course. So that's about it. And then just doing normal daily shop things, That's what we do.
Yeah, pretty fun though. It's not. I mean, fish, and more fish, huh?
Right?
Yeah. Speaking of more fish.
Right. Yeah. Oh my gosh, we'll get to you in a minute, girl. What about you, George? What about you? You're busy. You're just a busy guy. Not only are you out there treating water and everything. What have you been up to this week? Anything exciting?
Unfortunately, nothing fish related. I've kind of been neglecting my fish room. I'm kind of trying to stay out of the oven. I just go in the evenings, make sure I don't have any new casualties, feed the fish, and come back into the house. It's just been way too hot to try to do anything in my fish room right now, and so it's just doing the water changes when I have to, but that's pretty much it. I'm not even hanging out in my fish room.
Right on. Just busy. Yeah, I suppose. Every once in a while, luckily for you, like you have everything stable and whatnot. So every once in a while, I have to take a little bit of break too, and I'm away from it. Tina,
Yes, Tina.
I know what you're gonna say already, because I mean you're just sidetracked, so it doesn't matter what you had going on. Luckily, you're able to be home right now. You might as well. Jeez, what's been going on, Tina, with you? Exciting.
So what's going on exciting for me is that in my angel fish tank, we had our first pair of angels pair up, and they actually did their first spawn, which is new to me. And every day I have been watching this whole science process of how this occurs, because I'm leaving them in the tank to do it the natural way. So I have been going from watching eggs, going to watching how a female koi fans and handles these eggs, all the way up to like the past 2 days have been these little wigglers that came out of the egg and they're attached to the yolk and they're just wiggling away. Look like little tadpoles and microscopic tadpoles. And I've been crying for 2 days because I have felt that after all the hard work I do on our 6 fish tanks, this was the first time where I could see like life come out of it. And it just really touched me in such a personal way because it made me feel that every hard piece of work I put into these tanks actually was able to birth life. And I couldn't believe that it happened. So that this has been my week. It's just been being grandma to angelfish.
Angelfish.
Oh my
grandma.
gosh, how exciting. How it's super exciting for you. You guys, here you have it. This is just what I was talking about in the intro. 4 different people, 4 different things going on, 4 different styles of keeping fish. And we're all in at 4 different levels of this hobby or profession, if you will. I'm super, super excited. Tina, I'm really excited for the angelfish and to see how this goes too.
Yes, oh my, I'm hoping nobody gets eaten and taken away from me because I'm really enjoying it. But I did want to open up a little bit to everybody in the chat. You know, as we go on in our podcast today, I'd like to actually ask everybody that's in the chat, like, what does the aquarium hobby itself mean to you? It would be great to hear back from everybody that is in the audience to let us know, like, what it does mean. Like, you know, if you have favorite things in the hobby, what your own hobby, why did it start for you? Like what made it important to you? Because I'm sure we would all like to know that as well. So definitely please post that in the chat and we'll read some of that stuff as we go. We're definitely watching that. So that's something I would like to know.
I love the chat. So yeah, chat's good. Chat is fun. What does the aquarium hobby mean to you? Right on.
What does it mean to you guys?
My gosh.
Come on now.
So much. It's really can be fluid from day to day for me. It depends on what I'm actually doing. I enjoy a lot of different aspects of the hobby. Where you're at right now is one of my absolute favorite things. I love baby fish. I love fry. I love to feed them. I love to watch them grow. I really like the maintenance of it. I love the ups and I love the downs with it too. It's a learning experience. You will come to some hard decisions coming up in your journey, and that's just part of it. And then, you know, really what it means to me, though, I guess, overall, if I had to give it one sentence, education and learning, and I don't even know how to make a sentence, you know, of it.
Well, I think conservation also is very important to you as well.
It is. I'm into conservation on many levels. It starts right here in your fish room too. Yeah, the aquarium hobby, it means a lot to me.
What about you, Ray?
You know, I was reading through the comments and I see a lot of people saying a lot of the same things that I think. You know, it's my happy place. It's my peaceful place. You know, it's the place where you can go to get away from it all. And I think before we opened the store and we had 30 tanks at the house, that was my peaceful place, right? And that was you know, a lot of things you could do and always something to do and try. You get bored with one thing, you can try something else. And you know, the other thing that I always say when people come into the store is this hobby is for anyone 8 to 80. It doesn't matter. We have 8-year-olds and I have 80-year-old customers that come into the store. And so I think that's what it means to me is I've been an IT guy for many, many years. And being an IT guy, you don't always get to talk to people like I have been able to do while being in this hobby. And I think that's very special, especially when you're able to build those relationships. So that's what it means to me. It's my happy place most days.
I actually like Mason's comment. The hobby can humble you in an instant. And I really like that comment right there.
Absolutely.
George, what about you?
It can humble you day after day, though, can it?
Yep.
What does it mean to me? I guess it's funny that I say this because being Mexican, I have a lot of family, And the irony is that if all the family that I have, nobody keeps fish. I mean, nobody,
Really?
nobody. I've, I bring this up when we have family reunions. I'm the only crazy one in the family. My middle brother for a while there kept, he kept a 55 with angelfish, and it was mostly for his kids while they were growing up. But he, once the kids outgrew it, he got rid of that aquarium. So for me, it's an opportunity to interact with other like-minded people. Uh, but that's because I tend to be a little bit more social. I'm kind of an oddball because most people say this is an introvert hobby, and I think of myself as being more of an extrovert. So I don't know. It's one of those things where I love talking to people. It doesn't necessarily have to be about fish, but if it's fish, it's even better.
Yeah,
Very, very, very
you know, the introverts, it is an introvert hobby, and they need people like us to keep going and get information and stuff like that. Because when I talk to most of my friends and stuff, when you talk to them, they'll agree. Like, they're introverts. They say they are, and they'll agree with that. But that's pretty cool.
No, it's definitely very, very cool. And actually,
Yeah.
we should probably start talking about like how this all began, literally.
Oh my God. Yeah. Who are you guys? Who are you guys? I mean, now we have a mixed audience here, obviously. And we're on my original channel, so I'm sure a couple of the people know me, maybe. I mean, I know I see one or two people I know in there. But yeah, yeah, we better keep this show rolling here, huh?
Well, I'm curious to know, since you're the founder, how did this begin for you?
Oh my gosh. The hobby or the wet floor or
I'm gonna say for you, probably start with fish keeping a little bit. You don't have to go too grave in detail, but then also definitely go into what made you want to do this podcast.
yeah. So, I started keeping fish. I was pretty young. I was like 5 or 6 years old when I got my first fish tank. I actually ended up keeping bait fish for quite a while for my dad. Find the story somewhere. I'm sure I've talked about it before. And for a couple years, I kept shiners, kind of difficult to keep. Had to stay kind of cold. It was nice. And then growing up after that, I had a few fish tanks at the house, and it progressed. I got a little bit older and moved out and kind of filled my apartment up. And maybe even actually before I moved out, my first job and stuff was I worked for like reptile eggs and fish and stuff like that, which was pretty neat. I learned enough along the way and met enough people where we were able to have a pet store when I was younger. Had kids and whatnot, and didn't do that anymore. And I continued to breed and keep fish for years and years. We moved here to Florida, and I was keeping fish a little more heavily and stuff, and getting back into like really breeding African cichlids and stuff. I'm kind of giving you guys a quick down of this so we don't take the whole show talking about me. And this is where we get into how this became about. I met somebody, an introvert, if you will, like George was just talking about, at the fish store where I sold fish at, and if the guy watches this, he'll know who he is. He just kind of bothered me quite a bit, and bothered me about going to fish club quite a bit. And one day I finally went with him. It was Saturday, and I went and I started meeting just all kinds of wonderful people that were like-minded like me. And some of them are off in their own ways, just like I am. So it was really super cool. Being from here in Florida, I realized that going to fish clubs and some of the meetings and having more of them here, we have a lot of clubs here that are fairly close. I started meeting like people that, like in the books that I read, or that went on the trips, or that collected the fish that I had when I lived up north, or like collected the first fish that were just fish that we have in the hobby and stuff like that. And me being outspoken like George and stuff, I was like, well, how can we get all this stuff out there more? And like, this was just a couple years ago. I didn't know about Facebook groups and fish club. I didn't know the stuff was around for that long. So I'm way behind the ball game. So I start making this master plan of how I'm going to do all this stuff. And then I start seeing some fish club Facebook groups. And a couple years ago when I met, I can't remember if I met you, George, there, but I met Vibes Aquatics and a couple other people in Texas, and they're like, oh yeah, like a podcast and like a website and forums like Aquarium Co-op. And then I found all the YouTube and everything like that. And so that's just kind of how it started with all the people I met that don't really have channels or places to get the stuff out there, which I thought they didn't, but I guess they do. But I want to bring it to them in a different way. And through the four of us, I think we have a good foundation with four totally unique fish keeping ways, different avenues that we're into it. You know, Tina's more of a beginner. She likes the youth and they like to listen to her, and she does art and she's really compassionate, and listening to her teach people is really good. Ray has the retail side, the pet shop side, and he's on TikTok all the time, live and in your face, and people just absolutely love it. And they're like, "Yay, Ray!" I think that's what they're saying. We can't hear them, but I mean, that's what I'm doing at my house. Yay, Ray! Ching ching! You know, it's super fun. And then George, I mean, what, you're into all kinds of this stuff. So, you know, me having the avenue of so many different types of the people and being able to bring all of us to one like melting pot together is where like Uncle Joe's Fish Shed came from. You've all heard the story about that. You know, we all have an Uncle Joe and he's got a shed. My name is Jody. My fish are in an in-law suite. I don't know. It doesn't sound as cool.
That's really awesome,
Yeah.
Joey. We really
Good.
appreciate that.
We're
Yeah,
live on YouTube.
right.
You're
No,
fine.
it's totally cool. Now, though, I want to know Ray, though. I want to know, like, what his aquarium story was. Like, what the heck made you go into a fish store of all places and
Oh,
thing to do?
I don't know. What was I thinking? No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, growing up, we had an aquarium, and Dad always had it, and that kind of thing. So that was kind of cool. And then as I got older, I had a couple of aquariums growing up, and we had one with the kids growing up. And I don't know, a few years ago, my wife decided to go on a business trip, and I decided we're going to have an aquarium. And so that turned into 2, turned into 10, as you all know. Multiple tank syndrome is real, and turned into 30. And we just weren't finding the store here that we wanted to shop in pretty regularly. And so we found ourselves traveling all over, right? And so and we became friends with the store down in Arkansas, and they're like, "Hey, why don't you create a store? Why don't you open a store in Tulsa?" I'm like, "Hey, that's not a bad idea." And we knew we've always wanted to have our own business. You know, we actually thought it would be a quilt store, not a fish store, because Michelle's a avid quilter and loves to quilt, and that's her happy spot, is standing in front of fabrics. Mine's standing in front of aquariums. And she became quickly addicted to the hobby as well, for different reasons, because she's one that chases a deal. She loves a deal. She can't pass up a deal. And fish auctions were our downfall. So, you know, that's how we kind of got started. It kind of snowballed. And like I said, we always knew we wanted a business. Little did we know it would be an aquarium business. And we've been very fortunate, very blessed by customers coming in here, supporting us here in the store, on TikTok, as Joe said. I am live every morning on TikTok. And our family has been tremendous to this. I think they all thought we were a little crazy doing what we were doing. But you know, we're doing it, and we're doing it pretty successfully, I think.
What time do you come on live, by the way, on TikToks every morning?
I'm live at 6 a.m. Eastern time. So ish. I say 6 a.m. ish because sometimes, you know, I have to stop and get coffee, or, you know, whatever. Roscoe's got to go potty before we come in the store. I don't know. Let me come up with a million other excuses.
Just for anybody that's in the room that doesn't know Ray's lives, his lives are awesome. He shows off all his fish tanks. He has really fun stuff on there, and you just got to go visit him in the morning. He makes your morning happy.
We try.
Right up there in the corner is a QR code for Ray.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
I forgot about those.
Scan the code. Come see us. Say hello in the morning. We'd love to meet you.
Most
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
8 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Now we're going to move on to George. How
Oh, no.
did your aquarium hobby become what you are today, which is Mexicali fish keeper? What does that even mean? Talk to people.
All right. I guess I need to start with the name. Um, I live or lived, not so much now. I still relatively close to the border, but growing up, I actually lived in Mexico and used to commute to the United States every day to go to school and to go to work. I used to live in a city called Mexicali, which is borders with Southern California, and the port of entry there is called Calexico. So that's kind of where I guess my origins, if you want to call it that, begins. Um, but I guess or let me backtrack a little bit. I kept aquariums, or I was always interested in aquariums as a kid. Um, I am very, I don't know if it's hyperactive is the right word, but I'm very active, and I always used to get in trouble because I could never sit still. And so one of the things that I found, or that my mom quickly discovered, is that for some reason aquariums had a common effect on me. I normally wouldn't sit still anywhere unless there was an aquarium. And when I was growing up, it was very common that if you went to doctor's offices, or if you went to the dentist, or or in our area, Chinese restaurants, they all had aquariums. And that's about the only time where I necessarily wouldn't be sitting, but I'd be still for several minutes at a time. And all it was, I don't know, ever since a kid, I was always fascinated by the little animals living inside the glass box. That was the one thing that's always had called to me. But I never, growing up, money was tight, so we didn't have we never got an aquarium or anything like that. It wasn't until my late teen years. I must have been like either 17 or 18 where I started working, and all of a sudden I had a little bit extra money, and the idea of getting an aquarium, that's where it originates. And I remember one day, um, I was coming back, I either basketball practice or something like that. It was on a Saturday, and I was walking through it, and they had a yard sale a couple of houses down from where we lived, and they had one of those meta aquariums. It was a 10-gallon metal frame aquarium with the slate bottom on it. And I remember seeing that, and the guy, I was asking like $5 for it or whatever. Just so happened I had a $10 bill, so that's how I got my first aquarium. It was one of those metal frame tanks, and I, obviously at that time it was pretty interesting because I look at what the hobby is today, and it's totally different. I mean, in every single aspect. Back then, the only time you had access to information was either you went to the library, or you knew somebody that was keeping fish, or you had a relationship with the fish store. But that was pretty much the only places you were going to be able to get information regarding, aquariums and fish keeping and doing all that stuff. So it was a lot of trial by error. And interestingly enough, when people always ask what's like the best beginner fish that's available out there, to me, it has to be convicts. And the reason I say that is because that was the very first pair of fish that I had, and I put them through the grind. I mean, I did everything you're not supposed to do, and I never killed them. So to me, that proves the fact that they're probably the best beginner fish, where they're going to be bulletproof and nothing's going to happen to them. But they're also the worst kind of fish, because if you get a pair and they made off, you're gonna get overrun with fry. And the bad part about this is that they're such good parents that they have a really high success rate when it comes to rearing fry. So that was a real quick learning experience on that. But I only kept aquariums for probably about a year and a half, because then, I got done with high school. I had to move. I was going to school, and I just couldn't keep an aquarium. So I walk away from the aquarium hobby for more than 30 years. And it wasn't probably into around 2015, 2016 where I started getting the itch again to get aquariums. And it just so happened that one day I was at work. We had the break area and we had computers that we could use. It had internet, and I was looking online because I remember watching a video with Aquarium Co-op where they were talking about Petco having the dollar for gallon sales. So I was trying to see if our local Petco had a sale going on, and it just so happened that one of my coworkers walked behind me and he goes, "Oh, you have aquariums?" I said, "No, I was looking at getting one." He goes, "Do you want one?" And I was like, "Sure." So that's how I get back into the hobby. I ended up getting a 20-gallon with fully equipped. It was the tank, the stand. It had a hang on the back filter that he had. Apparently he had bought it for his kids. Kids were interested for a while, but kids being kids, a month or two into it, they totally lost interest and he didn't want to keep up with it. So he had broken it down. So that's how my beginnings start again. And then it was just the discovery of YouTube and the content that was related to aquariums that kind of got me into this rabbit hole, I guess, of trying to find out more about the hobby. The other big difference that I discovered when I came back is when I left, it was colored gravel. I remember it was black and blue, royal blue that I had in my aquarium. I was like, really, really cool, right? And then I also had the plastic plants that went along with it because they were black and blue. I was like, I was the coolest kid in the block. What are you talking about? And but when I started finding, when I rediscover aquariums back on YouTube, all of a sudden they're all planted, and that, I think that's the part that hooked me again, that got me interested in trying to keep aquariums. And ever since then, you can look at the videos on my channel. They all have plants, even from the beginning. There might be elodias or something like that, but it's got plants. And ever since then, I've never looked back. And that's probably one of the major reasons why I don't keep a lot of cichlids, is because I love my plants.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm so glad to have you, George, your experience on here, and you are a busy man. I don't see how you find time. Thank you very much, producer George. That is
one thing
awesome.
I want to point out though about George, in case nobody knows, also is on TikTok, and I find this very special because of my married into culture. I love that he does a lot of his TikTok lives in Spanish. I do. I love that he reaches the Spanish community. I love that he does it culturally like that. I think it's awesome about him. And that's one thing I really, really liked about his videos when I started watching him a bit on TikTok.
It was one of those things where I didn't see a lot of people doing stuff in Spanish. And I know there's a big community of us that speak Spanish here in the States. So I was kind of trying to do that. Originally, my channel here on YouTube was going to do that, but it grew so quick, and most of my audience is mostly English speaking. And I've done some experimental things with Spanish on here, but when I came across TikTok, I said, you know what? Maybe this could be the opportunity where I can focus more on doing some of the Spanish content.
It's super cool.
Acompañándonos, que entienden español, hago contenido en español. De hecho, tengo un live que también hago con otros compañeros de México. So, si quieren seguirme, pues go to my page and follow me, and you can hear some of that stuff.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much, George.
Right on. I just wanted to hop in. We are live in the shop, so you're going to hear background shop noises. Sorry, guys.
That's so fun, and just another aspect. That's great.
Live in the shop.
Yeah, live. So that's so we have me, the founder, we have the producer there, we have the business and tech guy there. How about on to Tina, Aqua Intuitions, our editor. Your route here into the hobby is a bit different. You from what I know, and I've known you for a while now from TikTok and just talking with you. You like the educational side, and you seem more into learning or being able to teach others, or more into the why of the why, and why does that happen, or how come? Point an example, like your angelfish babies. You were so like, you're like, oh my gosh, what does this mean about my tank? Does this mean my tank is good? Is it? And I am just like, girl, well, you know it is already, because you get your stuff out. I watch you teach people. I watch people ask questions. I see you. So yeah, you know it is. But yes, girl, that's what that means. It's super exciting. And the plants and everything. Like, tell us about, like, all of it, the art, and what
Okay.
makes you you.
Well, first I got to at least start where I started. So I started as a very young child, and my first fish was like an angelfish, not an angelfish, a goldfish. And when I first had it, I was like 7 or 8 years old, and I had it in a bowl, and it was full of algae. It didn't have a filter, and I don't know how it lived. That was my first experience. And then after that, I was into beta fish, and I was into, I started moving into like hermit crabs, and then I moved into reptiles, and then canines and cats, and then somehow I came back into fish. As of recent, what happened was my husband was always into saltwater fish, and then we decided to do a fish tank. This is a funny story because it originally was supposed to be my husband's project. We were going to do a fish tank just for him, and I was going to just help him set it up with him and stuff, and it was going to be his tank. And then unfortunately, my type A personality took over, and I took over the whole project, and that tank became my tank. And then we had to get another tank for him. And then after we started building the second tank, we were like, wow, we can get a third tank. And we got a third tank, then a fourth tank, now a fifth tank, now a sixth tank. So we're 6.5 in to tanks. And as we were doing the fish hobby, I'm the type of person that likes to learn. So I'm very much like an autodidact. I will literally just start picking up books and reading and reading and reading and reading. I like to know whys to things, and I like to have a real answer. So I will go and research it. Now that I'm knee deep in this, I started getting into aquatic botany, which is, plants, and I'm a gardener outside. So when I figured out that I could start planting in a tank, that made me very excited to watch that grow and how that works. And I did a lot of studying with some older names like, Wallstead and even Castleman, and a couple other people. I was doing some reading on older aquatic botanists because I found that their information was more grounded and rooted. And I started to learn more and more about plants to the point when I do my lives, that's probably like the biggest topic on my TikTok lives is about the plants.
Yeah.
And how I care for them. And then, now with this whole baby thing, this breeding thing, that opened up a whole new door for me in that. So I started doing a lot of reading and research and studying, and I'm literally like writing notes down in my notepad on my phone because I'm documenting every little behavior they do, whether they blow on the eggs or fan the eggs, or who's guarding the eggs at what time and why, and where the male goes. And I've been watching them so closely that I'm starting to like make a journal of it, and I think it's awesome. And I've also have an experience right now with a beta fish that's sickly, and I've been learning about that as well and caring for him the best that I can. And then the next part to me is creative. So I do artwork, I've painted, I do coloring with pencils, I can do digital illustrations, I could do web design, I could do graphics. I've always innately been a creative person since a child. So for me, it's very natural. I have gone to college as well for it. I went to the Academy of Art University in California for 2.5 years. But that was just to add a sense of not like schooling, but a little bit of tactical education as opposed to just doing things by experience. I wanted to have something on my bio that I went to school. I didn't think I really needed the school because I learned very much everything on my own. And I knew things way before AI was fun. So I started in the digital world when digital world was very complicated. And learned bare boned. So my creative side to me is just something that's just built inside of me. I can't get rid of it. I can't do nothing about it. I do a lot of colorings with fish now because it's so fascinating to me. coloring fish because they have so many colors and so many hues built into them that it's challenging every single time. It's never boring. So I do that a lot. And I do have a website, obviously, tinacamacho.com, and that's where I have my artwork stuff. And as far as TikTok, I try to keep TikTok very much into beginner. I want beginners to come in my group. I want them to say hello to me. I want them to ask questions. I want to direct them in a way where they actually have an understanding. And like, as a matter of fact, on one of the Facebook groups today, somebody posted a graphic that was made on the numbers for Appy water test, and like, you know, do a 90% water change if the number goes to this in ammonia and this, that, and the other. And I wrote back to that poster because I'm like, you're just giving numbers that nobody even knows what they are. And now these new beginner people are just going to chase that number, and that's going to cause a bigger problem. So I ended up having a whole discussion with this person to reinvent how you're providing this information to new people, because that's not the way to go. And he actually redesigned his whole graphic to be a little bit more informative of the what and the why, as opposed to just a number. So those are the things that I try to do on TikTok with new beginners, is give them the what and the why, and try to give them a base explanation that they can understand in their language as a young beginner. So this way they can grow better, more organically into the hobby, and learning how to read their tanks a little better, more organically. So that's basically me in a nutshell.
That's pretty sweet. Like, you're all over there also, like, from so many different aspects and so many things driving your hobby. I have a couple questions, actually. Do you think that your art influences how you keep your fish, or does your fish keeping influence your art and your styles? I know that you draw some beautiful stuff. The tile up there's a link to your website. Ray has some exclusive stuff of yours at his shop. But yeah, for like how do you take that? Like,
so art was always there. Art was always there, but to actually do fish art, that actually came because of fish keeping. As I would look at fish in the fish tanks, I became fascinated by their coloring, by their shininess, by their, you know, how the hue changes with the light and so forth. I became very fascinated by it. And honestly, quite a few of my artworks were memorial pieces, to be honest with you. I have more memorial pieces than I even do actual regular art. People will reach out to me and say that they lost their beta, or they lost this fish or something, and they want me to do a memorial piece for them. And we literally just color that. But the fish keeping is what kind of jumped me into doing aquatic art instead of botanical stuff that I used to do and all that kind of stuff, because it just fascinated me when I was looking at it, that I'm like, I need to see it on paper too. So that's what made me do it that way.
right on. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I can't draw. Do you guys draw at all? I can't draw. I can't. No.
Nope.
Well,
No,
Emma
not
helps
really.
me draw, but that's besides the point.
Emma helps you draw? Right
Emma
on.
helps me draw from a picture, but I do all the coloring.
If stick figures are considered drawings, then yes.
Right?
Yeah,
know
that,
what?
You make it, Callie.
I
Oh
bet
my
you
God.
it'll work in a museum. They have many weird things in museums, and they work there.
yeah, I'm good with like clip art and cut and paste and stuff like that. Tina, your art is fabulous. If any of you guys want to see some good artwork, definitely check out that little tile that I have up there in the corner that is now gone. Yeah, Tina, your show in the morning is pretty fun, chill, relaxing,
I'm doing it on Sundays right now. Right now, I'm doing it on Sunday mornings.
You're very gentle, and it's really neat because you're a good teacher, and you're very thorough with what you teach and the things that you've learned. And a neat aspect, what I love about that is an intermediate fish keeper is still learning, but able to teach people correctly, and I find that absolutely amazing.
Thank
you
you.
know, because there's a lot of people out there who, like, you describe yourself as an intermediate fish keeper, and there's a lot of people out here who are like, oh, I'm an expert. And I tell you what, when I talk to them, and I've been talking to a lot of people for a lot of years, and so have these guys, they don't know a lick of what you know.
I think that would make a great episode, talking about all the experts.
Stay humble. They-
Stay humble.
yeah, it's super cool.
I think we should include some of the audience and do some like rapid fire or something instead of everybody just
yeah,
hanging out
definitely.
listening to us BSN.
Oh my gosh. What is one thing, you guys, that you wish somebody, Tina, we can start with you, that somebody had explained to you when you first got into the hobby? Or warned you about, explained to you?
I wish they would have warned me that it was an addiction, that you're going to fall down a rabbit hole and you're going to throw out furniture in your house so you could fit a fish tank on the wall.
You would have done it anyway.
It would have happened.
Anyway.
Look
That
at George.
literally happened in my house. I got rid of a living room couch because I thought a 45-gallon would look great on that wall.
I tell people every day, get rid of the sofa, remove the TV. There's plenty of room for a fish tank.
There is. You can watch fish. You don't have to watch fish tanks. How many people in the chat don't have living room? I bet you there's quite a few people who have fish tanks instead of TVs, or have multiple tanks in their living room.
Well, somebody had wrote in the chat nitrogen cycle when they first started. They wish they knew. Yes, I think the nitrogen cycle should be explained a lot better out there in the world.
Yeah, that is a really good one. Who put that? Dee Spin. I've been keeping fish for 8 years and don't like teaching anything, as I feel I learn something new all the time. You know, but it's okay to teach what we've learned, because it's always evolving, and there's many ways. There's 2 ways to do this, there's 2 ways to do that, and learning other ways to do it never means you were wrong the first time. It just means that there's another way. If your fish are flourishing and doing well and laying little eggs on your tall grasses and tending them, and wigglers are coming about, you're definitely doing something right. And if you change and you think you're doing something better and it works for you, then you're still definitely doing something right.
100%. I'm reading everybody's answers in the chat.
Oh, I like chat.
Last 6 weeks.
Good morning, Aqualust. Good morning. I said good morning. Good morning. Good evening, Aqualust. Bill does have tanks in the house. Absolutely beautiful tanks. If you guys haven't, Ray Mexicali, you guys go check. You guys know who he is. He's got beautiful tanks.
Aqualust? Yeah, I know who Aqualust is. Yes.
I had him as a guest. What do you mean?
Yeah.
I know who he
He's
is?
my buddy. Bill is, just so everyone knows here, full transparency. Bill named the wet floor, as a matter of fact.
Oh, seriously? That's awesome.
That's where it came from.
He sure did. Yep.
Good deal. What's up, Aqualust?
Yep. Thank you, Bill, for the name. No, you guys,
Bill,
everyone in chat, me and Bill have made some videos together. We'll make more. Bill will be on here as a reoccurring guest and stuff, so it'll be a good time. I like to read the.
Oh my goodness! Look at everybody's comments. This is so
you need
awesome.
to post Corinne's. She's got a good one.
Yeah.
The question was in the living room. Ask how many in the house.
I've seen her
yeah.
picture.
Oh yeah. Katrina, let us have it. How many in the house? I have 1 tank in the house and a big, huge beta container in the house. But
that's awesome. All right, I'm going to start asking questions.
Bill is also a moderator in here. Good. All right, you guys, back. I'm getting sidetracked. We're sitting here talking about all kinds of stuff. It happens, you guys. So where were we at, you guys? We were wrapping up. We met everybody here. That was pretty cool. We got a little bit of a basis going here.
Well, I do want to ask you, Jody. This I'm going to ask, and I'm going to bring it up because there is a gazillion aquarium podcasts out there, and I mean a gazillion. So, what makes this one different?
Well, geez, I don't.
I want to know from everybody what make it different.
Right. What I hope for this, and what I hope to make different is like we had brought up before. We just introduced ourselves, 4 totally different aspects from it that we should all meld together really good. And that's what I was looking for. There's a lot of one-sided information that I can find out there. There's also a lot of really good one-sided information out there, but it just comes across kind of dull and not very fun. So over the course of the last couple of years, meeting people and talking and going at the snail's pace that Uncle Joe likes to go at, I finally came across a great group of people. Tina, George, and Ray there, and after talking to everybody and talking to other people along the way too, everybody just felt like they were a really good mix, and everybody has a different teaching style. And I watch them. Tina, you're really calm with the young people. You're still learning and stuff. We just talked about that. And you like the why of the why. And as we said, Ray has the finance in the fish store, and what kind of good experiences and fun stuff to hear from him. I mean, right there, the horse's mouth, if somebody wants to know what it's like or has a question. And then we have George. He's all over with everybody, also bilingual. How great is that for us? An all-around good guy who really seems to know what he's talking about. And so just bringing all those different things together and being able to find a way to get it to people in a decent way where we're all understanding, and we all know that we're learning as we go along too. So I just thought that was really important, and I hope it can continue to go this way, and I think it will.
Well, like, who do you think this podcast will mainly be for? Do you think it's going to be just for beginners? Do you think it's just going to be for maybe someone that wants to start a store? Like, what do you think this podcast is really going to kind of direct to?
I'm sure it's going to change, and it's fluid. When I think about it, like, I really want to do education and be able to teach people about things, but I want to be able to entertain people that are more advanced and have some fun. And if we keep it mixed up like that, I think we can get a general audience. Is really, I would like to have a little bit of something for everyone, but not make it too vanilla and too generic. You can ease the new people into it. They don't need to learn really simple terms. Make it fun and do storytelling and teaching through you and Ray and George, and you can add the science in the correct ways and the nitrogen cycle into it, instead of it just being so cut and dry, like, we're all 80 and this is how it is.
Well, like, Ray, like, you've been online a bit. Actually, so is George. What do you think is, like, missing in the podcast world for aquarium hobbies? What do you think there's something needs to be more of?
I would say education, honestly. People have to do a lot of their own research and stuff. I talk to people every day that one of the things I really don't like doing is disappointing a kid when they walk into the store, right? They're coming in, mom and dad have brought them in, and they're promising them a fish today. And we try to educate them along the way. We have practice fish that we give kids. We came up with this little idea. We found this little plastic fish that floats in a tank, and I'm like, okay, go take your practice fish home and make sure you can feed him, and that kind of thing. So that's really what I would say is we need more of in the hobby, is more education and more availability to good information. There's a lot of information out there. Unfortunately, not a lot of it is good information. So hopefully we're going to fix that problem. So
George, what do you think? What do you think is missing? Because you see a lot of podcasts. You're on YouTube a lot.
Yeah, no, I don't know if there's.
Well, what can we do different?
I kind of agree with Aqualust Bill. Some personality. I mean, there's some podcasters out there, some pretty big channels, but I don't think I think here's the problem, and that's something that I was kind of discussing with Jody at the beginning. Is it's good to have a script. It's terrible to read the script. Absolutely. And what I mean by that is, if you can't, the script is a good guide to keep you on pace as to what you're trying to stay on. But if you're actually reading the script word for word, it's terrible. And I know a couple of people that do that, and they're very big channels, and it sucks because you're not getting their genuine personality. And that's the other thing that I've always told people, that I tend to talk to a lot of people that are just starting out with their YouTube channels. And one of the things that I always tell them is, don't try to be a character. It's always going to be easier just to be yourself. Mm-hmm. And because the tendency that a lot of people try to do when they first come on is they're trying to create a persona. And the thing is, it's going to be hard to keep up with it. It's going to be very difficult to keep that persona or that type of thing
I agree. Be
going.
you.
It's always just going to be easier just to be yourself, exactly who you are. I mean,
Yep.
what you know,
This is
doesn't
why I
matter.
picked you guys.
Hey, you see me in the morning. I'm myself. I'm following
No,
everything.
you guys,
Water on the floor.
100%. This goes back to I was having a hard time because Tina put me on the spot, because it's not scripted and I didn't have it wrote down or something. But
Yeah.
this is how I came, and this is what took a personality is awesome. I made some videos with Bill, and his personality is great. Bill is always smiling, and he's always genuinely he's happy. And you guys, how you are right now, this is how I see. Yes, I do see you guys in the morning, and I see you when you're running late, and you're like, oh my god, I better. So you're just and
Hitting the
and
floor.
it's great, and I appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you for
By the way,
answering part of my
this noise
question.
is my dog. His naturalness right here. That's not scripted.
We're real people.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I have a question now. I have another question. What
Oh,
is it
cool
that
question.
you don't want this podcast to become? Like, what is it
Pretentious.
absolutely don't want?
Yeah.
yeah, George. What don't you want your podcast to be?
Like, seriously,
Oh,
do you want to be an egomaniac in it? Like, what you don't want? in it?
No, I just don't want to be a bunch of talking heads where we talk amongst ourselves and not pay attention to this chat over here.
Exactly.
Because they're the whole reason we're here, and they're the ones that are going to keep us successful. So we pay attention to what their needs and what their questions are. I think we're going to be pretty successful.
Exactly. And actually, I wanted to look at something. I saw something in the chat before. Someone said, I don't remember where her name is now. I'm trying to scroll.
Yes, you do.
She was I think knowledge without being rude. There's a lot of know-it-alls, especially like on Facebook, which that's going to be another podcast in itself. But yes, I think the knowledge of without being rude. I think there's too many people in this hobby, especially on social media, that when they think they know something, and they probably do know it well, and that's great, but when they come at you with such an aggression or such a rudeness or such a bullying about it, put you down and make you feel this small. I have a problem with that. I think it's rude. I think it's terrible. And if someone's coming to you with a question, even if that question may sound silly to you, it's not silly to that person, right? They're coming to you because they really want to know an answer to something. So take the minute, be compassionate, be empathetic, and be helpful, as opposed to being an a-hole.
The way you're saying that is exactly the reason why I think our store is successful is that's the way we treat people when they walk through that door. Is when they walk through that door, whether you know everything or nothing, we treat you the same. We're going to treat you like family. We're going to say hello. We're going to welcome you. And if we can help you, we will. If we can't, we're going to be honest with you. And if we don't know, we're going to tell you too. And
yeah,
that goes a long way with people, whether it's online or in person.
you never know who's going to walk in the door, Ray, that,
Right.
you treat everybody exactly the same. It could be the smartest, the greatest fish keeper ever, or it could be just a beginner. And, we're all learning each and every day.
Yeah.
Well, the
In
other
this
thing
hobby-
also, I don't want this to be is too technical. That I don't want. I think there's too much technical out there. Like I see some people online, they talk about like the nitrogen cycle like chemists. And it's like none of us went to school for chemistry like that. So let's not talk about it like that. You could actually make it so that it's understandable in a very layman way. And it will immediately just go, oh, you'll get a light bulb moment when you really explain it in a little bit, lower tiered way. Do it with an analogy, and it will really click once you do that with people. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
And by the way, people, we may not agree on a lot of things sometimes. Just saying.
That's good. We don't have to either.
No.
That's the beauty of it.
I think that's something that we've kind of lost in our communication is society lately has become too much of a team this, team that. But it's okay not to, just because we don't agree on everything doesn't mean that we can't carry a conversation with each other. And it's okay to have differences of opinions. That's just normal. We're human beings. We're not all going to be 100% agreement on everything. And I think as long as we understand that we can respect each other for our opinions and what we have, I think we're going to be fine. And I think I think that that's something that we need more and more in today's society too.
I totally agree with that. I had a discussion with somebody online recently about mulm. There's people that say you must keep the tank bleach clean. And then there's me who's like, no, mulm is actually kind of good for plants and stuff. Like, you don't have to take that all out. The fish don't want it bleach clean. And then we ended up in a little disagreement. And it's like
Read
you
the
know.
chat. Sorry.
Yes, Corinne, every day.
Everyone has unalive in their tanks. It happens. Yes.
I'm sorry, you guys. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just laughed.
No, me and Ray do it. I don't know about everybody else, but me and Ray do DOA walks every morning. We get up in the morning, have a cup of coffee, and walk at each tank and look, is there anybody dead in there? Is there anybody dead in the corner? Is there anybody floating?
I'm even writing an app for that.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing about having a bunch of tanks. You can experiment with a lot of different methods and find out what works for you. That's very true. Yes, you can. Just don't get rid of it.
That's a blast. Every once in a while, and I actually right now, I'll run two of the exact same fish and breed them different ways and just check it out. What I learned with a lot of them is it's pretty much the same. And you know, this person, this is the right way, and guy A over here on YouTube or at this shop this is the right way, and it doesn't work. Well, they both work. There's, back to that. There's more than one way.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
You ask 10 fish keepers their opinion, you're going to get 11 different opinions.
That's actually a good quote right there.
I'm probably the guy giving 2 out, aren't I?
That's a totally good quote.
You guys, I just thought of something here. We're getting partway through the show. I'll ask a question here of you guys, and you can answer it or not answer it. Do you guys have a favorite local pet store in town, like a go-to place, or is it super far from you? Because we have one here, and I'd like to give them a big shout out to Brian at Discount Pets in Cape Coral here, our first sponsor of the show. This guy has everything in his store. This is a small mom and pop shop, you guys, and it is just packed in tight. Like, it is packed in there tight. You need dog food or cat food, he's got you wet, dry, all different kinds. Oh, there's toys in there too, dog beds. You don't even know where you can come up with some of this stuff. It's absolutely crazy. Fish medications, reptile medication, all kinds of toys and bedding for reptiles. His reptile selection and his amphibian selection, it can't be beat. It rivals a lot of the bigger shops. His fish section, they have a small amount of tanks in there, and they pack a lot of stuff in there. But the best thing about it, if you're going and you're new into the hobby, the name really means a lot there, Discount Pet, because the prices there they can't be beat. Ryan and the guys there are awesome. So if any of you guys are local to here, go up in there, check this out. I have a little widget. You guys can go and show them some love. They got some pretty good videos on TikTok. People like to watch videos of animals and stuff. Go check them out, Facebook and Instagram. There's the thing for the store in Cape Coral here. Brian, thank you so very much. All of us here at the Wet Floor, thank you. We look forward to working with you.
100,000%.
Yeah.
Actually, does he ship fish?
No, but he's got a friend that does.
Oh, I wonder who that is.
I don't know about that guy.
Brian, yeah. It's a good place. Where do you, so now that's so much easier just to do with that way. What do you guys have a favorite local? Like, do you guys, Ray? Oh my gosh, this is the Finsford story. We talked about this on one of the videos. So we know why you have your store, so you could have a fish store, a decent one. George, how about you? What's your mom and pop? Oh my gosh, can I just go out on a limb here and say this is partially why George is now doing what George does also, because there is not one. I forgot about that too.
Yeah.
That's now you guys both have that in common. Like it or not, George, that's what you got going on there. Is a mini plant shop, and now you're like, well, I got some fish, and but how far is it for you?
Who, for me?
Yeah, to go to a mom and pop shop.
3.5 hours. 3.5 hours. It's either going to be it's a coin toss. I can go to Phoenix, or I can go to San Diego because I'm right in the middle between them. But
Holy.
I do have favorite fish stores, and it depends on what city I am. If I'm in
Yeah.
San Diego, I'm going to a pet zone. If I'm in the Arizona area, I'm going to the chlorophyll corner. If I'm going to Vegas to see my daughter, I'm going to Mike's and Miguel's. If I'm going to LA, there's two of them. There's Nolan's Aquarium, and then CK Fish World. And that's just some of the places that I've been to. In Austin, I really like the tiny aquarium, and that's something that Eddie Vibes Aquatics took me to. Awesome store. So every time I travel, which I do tend to travel quite a bit, I always try to go seek local fish stores.
Totally.
And
Yeah.
it seems like so far every place that I've been to, you find a little diamond in the rough.
You
So,
do. You do.
Have you ever been to Oklahoma?
Not yet. I gotta go.
No.
I gotta go
I was
see
gonna say, you gotta take a trip down on
Fishing
Oklahoma.
Grins. I hear is a pretty good store.
Right.
Yeah. Fishing units.
Yeah, we like George was saying, just like we were here in Colorado Springs 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and we love to go look at fish stores. And there were some great ones, and then there were some, just little holes in the wall. And everybody has their thing or their story, and I love talking to all the owners. As soon as I walk in, I say, "Hey, I own a fish store too. How's it going?" So.
That's awesome. And anybody that's in the chat, if you need to order fish because you're not near a fish store, because there's a couple of people that are posting that they're not near a fish store. Well, you have a few people right here on the live that you could order fish from and they ship. So, and if you need specific fish, I'm sure they'll find it.
I want to take an opportunity since we're doing this.
Sure.
In September, I'm going to be in Chicago. I'm going to Aquascaping, but I need to get a recommendation for local shops in Chicago that are must-sees that I have to go check out, because I don't know if I'll ever be back in Chicago other than that one time. So I want to make sure that there's a good store out there to go check out.
We definitely got to take time out when I'm up there, because I'll be vending there too, and hopefully to get some of you other guys up there too. Maulawi Aquatics divide by 0 in the chat. Oh yeah, he's traveled a bit. So he's got some good ones. Southern Aquaculture. Where's that? Tulsa.
Southern Ag, yeah, they're a local store here. They're also locally owned and operated here.
Are they close to you?
Yeah, they have several stores throughout. They're kind of like our friend here. They have everything. So dog, cat, birds. Not all of them have aquariums in their stores, but there's just a couple of the stores that have aquariums.
Right on.
I only have two. Yeah, I only have two that I frequent in Connecticut. So
good peeps over there.
It actually is. I go to Blake's Aquaden in Wallingford, Connecticut. It's about maybe a half hour from our house. They're just a dedicated fish store. They do saltwater and freshwater. They do have an awesome amount of selection of plants. And they do carry multiple products of things. Some of the products I'm not a big fan of because it's like the typical, brand products that they carry. I like also going about 45 minutes to an hour away in Windsor, Connecticut, and there is a place called Aquatic Wildlife. Why I like them is they're also a fish store that does salt and fresh. I like that they carry some products that you do not get anywhere. And one of them is my Easy Life product. I love that product. I just swear by it. And it's from the Netherlands, and it's very hard to get here. And I know that place carries everything of it. And I like that they look at more organic things in reference to add into your tank. So I like that store for that. So I'll drive an hour to that store to pick up certain organic products that I want to use for my tanks. And then when I want fish and stuff, I usually go to Blake's in Wallingford. I've gone to Petco. I've done Pet Supplies Plus. I've done all that. Not a fan at all. And it's nothing against the employees. It's just certain things I don't like. But I prefer to go to my two locals that I shop at all the time.
Yeah, you'd think I have massive amounts of fish clubs here in Southwest Florida. I can just take a drive every weekend to one, and you'd think I'd have a lot more like, whoa, check out this fish store down here. And we do have some good ones. Surprisingly, you have to travel to them. Now, we have a few local ones in town here, like Brian's Discount Pet. He's got a great little mom and pop shop. It's really beginner friendly. But as far as like what you were saying, things you can't have, or like what Ray has, really where we're at here, that's far and few between. We have a few other fish stores here, none really that I would be like,
I
yo,
find that really odd.
everyone
It's
go.
Florida.
I do too. We're working towards that goal here, especially down here in the South.
Do most people though in Florida have like, you know, garage aquariums? Is that like the more popular way to go?
I mean, I don't know, because I learned about online fish keeping and aquarium clubs when I was down here. So for me, I'm like, Bill Aqualus doesn't have that many fish tanks, but he does have a lot of fish tanks, you guys. But I'm just, it's saying for, so it's hard for me to say if what I mean, don't like all your neighbors have 75 tanks in their garage, at least one within a few blocks anyway.
No.
I'll find stuff online, like I'll go buy some plants or something online, like a potted plant, and I'll be there, and you'll walk in, and the guy's not a fish club guy or anything, and they'll have like 55 fish tanks inside their yeah, doesn't everybody have 55 or 60 fish tanks in their garage?
No. Just
Not anymore.
I mean,
Not anymore.
no. This is the natural progression. It goes from Tina to George and over here to where I'm at, and then over down to, he's just over it at the house, you know. Yeah.
The farm next. I don't know.
Grant are here. That is so exciting.
God.
Hello, guys. It's the Garden of Eder. I hope the baby's
I'm trying
there.
to like look at some of the
Hello, Myra.
comments in there. 'Cause I didn't want to.
Right?
I don't want to ignore anybody. That's the definite goal. We don't ignore people.
Right on.
Yeah, we do live shopping events here on Tech in the morning, you know, so.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You guys, so
Yes, dear.
East Coast, West Coast, Central, down here in the South, we don't have anybody from the Midwest, because we don't need anybody from the Midwest. I know how I met. I mean, we just don't really. I mean, what are we going to do with them? They're going to be cold.
Wait a minute. Isn't Oklahoma Midwest?
No,
Exactly.
not really. I mean, kinda. Are you cold and prickly? Well, I used to live in the Midwest. We didn't count Oklahoma. People said they were Midwest. We left them out by themselves, kind of like Arkansas.
We're more flyover. You just fly over.
I'm telling. Yes, fly over. I know how I met all you guys. How many of us met through each other? How many of us just met? I met Tina. I met you because the first day I was on TikTok, my criteria was aquarium and education. And I met you, and I saw this silly little post, and I was like, oh, who writes stuff like that on social media? And I was like, that is the nicest thing I've ever seen. And then I went and made a comment on there and looked at all the comments, and I was like, oh, so maybe I'm not the only nerd who thinks that's a good idea. And I just thought it was the greatest thing ever. And that's how I met you. And then I just reached out to you and hopped on somewhere, one of your lives, and was like, hey, lady.
I know. That's what I was going to say. I remember meeting you in one of my lives. You had come in the room. You were very new to TikTok. You didn't even know how to do certain things on TikTok.
Just turned it on. First
We
live,
taught him a lot.
first thing that came on was you. I'm telling you, I had aquarium, education, conservation, and maybe pesca, so I could get some Spanish stuff, you know, because I learned pesca from when I used to fish, and I think it totally means something different, but I had that on there anyway.
At that time, I think I was very still new to TikTok, and I had my friend Amanda being my mod, and she had promised me that I would go from like 116 followers to like 1,000, and I'm like, yeah, okay. And then now I'm almost 2,000, but okay. but Jody came into one of my lives when we were doing that. And I remember it because he was constantly messaging me about, how do I do that? How do I do that? And I knew at that moment, like, this dude's quirky, man. I'm like, he is quirky as F. I'm like, but I like
yeah.
it.
You're the one who told me to try it. So I'm like, okay, I will. Then you're going to tell me how. So, all right.
He was like my little dorky fish friend. And I'm just like, okay, I really love this dork. He's just such a dork. And then somehow, I don't remember how I met you, Ray. Was that true?
I think you came into my live.
Was it really?
Yeah, I think
don't
you
remember.
came into my live in the morning, and I don't know. We stumbled
I
upon each other on the
introduced
streets of
to
TikTok.
our quirky friend, and then I introduced you to Jody, and then George is somewhat new to me, but not. I follow him, I watch him. I've never like talked to him, and I think he just kind of got looped in. I don't know how he got looped in. How'd you get looped in?
No, I guess I got to know Jody because they were just starting their project for the wet floor, and I actually had him and Bill come on as guests for my live stream. That's how I got to know Bill and Jody, and then I brought them each one individually to get to know them because I wanted to get to know what the project was first, and then I brought them individually to get to know who the persons are,
Right.
and who they are as people, and then I started, my TikTok stuff. The channels that I've had the account for some time, but I think last year and this year is the busiest I've been on that account, and I just was kind of curious to see what was going on, and I think I came across Ray's live stream once in the morning. I kind of came in and said hello, but I didn't really interact. I'm a lot quieter in TikTok. I don't really engage more. But it was funny because when I work graveyards, I can turn on and I can probably catch Ray starting up his live. It's the time difference allows it so that I can watch about for a little bit as I'm closing up my shift at work. So,
Okay.
but I just kind of lurk more than anything else. Tina, you were brought to my attention because of Jody, and Jody says you need to check her channel out, and that's how. But other than that, this is really the first time that I've actually spoken to you guys.
Right.
Other than Jody, I got to meet Jody in person too. This last time I was in Florida, so that was kind of fun.
That was super fun.
Well,
Yeah.
does anybody have like what their first impressions were like when they like first started talking? Like I know when my first impression of Jody was he was my dork. He was my quirky dork. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. But like, what was everybody's first impressions of each other? I'm just curious. Like, Ray, what did you think?
Oh my gosh, this is fun.
Jody wasn't what I thought. Who he did? I didn't look like what I thought he would look like.
Oh yeah, what did you think I was going to look like?
I don't know. It wasn't that.
You didn't think I was going to be this good looking, did you?
Yeah, exactly. You charming devil, you. But I'd seen Jody kind of come through the channels and whatnot, and that's one of the bummer parts I think about TikTok is you don't really get to see faces, you just get to see names. Yeah. And unfortunately you get to see screen names and not real names. But I met Jody down in Dallas at Aquashella, and he was behind some friends of ours booth, Burgess Fin and Shell. And so we got to talk to him a little bit more and got to know him a little bit more and that kind of thing. So and then funny thing, when I got back here to the shop, I'm looking up who's this Uncle Joe fish shed guy, and what's he all about? Well, I stumbled upon a video that he did with Aqualust about reverse respiration. And funny enough, in that video, they referenced an article that I had written based off of reverse respiration website. So
that's awesome.
It was just kind of funny. I'm like, oh, hey. So
that's really, really cool.
Kind of funny. But yeah, good stuff. So
that is pretty cool.
And then Tina, I think I met you through the live, and George, I've just seen you pop through the live occasionally. So didn't know what you looked like or who you were until we started chatting here with planning the podcast.
That's totally cool. We are definitely really different personality people.
Yeah.
How exciting!
Yes,
freaking
Jody.
I didn't get the first impressions of any of you guys because I got on So one of the guys, the vice president of our fish club, Josh Banker, shout out to the young man, very young in the seat he has. He does a great job. He's like, oh, you have to get TikTok. You have to get TikTok. You have to get TikTok. I was like, okay. And Aqualust was along for the ride of this. And I got on there, and that is so dang fast and everything. And so I'm making these videos, and they're like, ching, ping, wah, chee, wow, wow, bam, bam, bam. Like every 2 seconds, and I'm going like this, and I'm like, wow, yeah, that's what people like, huh? And then I'd already met Tina on the live thing, so I got to see the lives first, and if you don't push anything, nobody knows you're there. So I saw Tina's lives for a couple days before I actually even went in there and kind of just watched them and was looking, because I was on TikTok looking for you guys. I mean, really. And
I think you were definitely looking for a network or a community.
And so I'd watch them, and I watched Ray's a few times. And you just sit there and don't even go into them. And I was like, yeah, Ray's pretty freaking cool too.
Oh, I love Ray.
I didn't even have to pay to say that.
And then somehow I had all kinds of coins, so I started making Ray get up all the time and show me his dog. And he is such a good sport. Let me tell you, because he doesn't know if I'm like, I need special assistance or something person like that. So I'm just like throwing these donuts out to the dog, and poor Ray just has to keep getting up, and I just quit. But so my first impressions of you guys were, they had to have been good for me to come back and be like, oh my gosh, that's somebody I'd like to meet. I'd like to be that person's friend. And then after, meeting you and becoming friends, and it's like, yeah, that's somebody I'd like to work with on some of this stuff. And George was a no-brainer. I met him, and I really like the way he does his stuff, and I think somebody turned me on to him, or he reached out in the beginning. I think George George is one of the first people that reached out to me, and I had like 12 followers, and he made me feel famous. Yeah. And I was like, this dude with this podcast wants me to come on there and talk to me. And I was like, heck yeah. I'm like, Bill, come on, we got to do this. Bill's like, yeah, we will. Cause he's always smiling. And yeah, so my first impression of George, I was like, oh yeah, this is super cool. Cause I had other people had told me about him prior too. So then I was like, oh, George. So that was pretty cool.
We're all going to Aquascaping in September, but I don't know if we're all going to Jersey and Chicago. I'm just going to Jersey.
We're three of us are going to. Well, go ahead. I'm going to Jersey and Chicago.
I'm just going. We're going to Jersey to be with Uncle Joe and help him out. And
are you going both days, Saturday and Sunday?
Yeah. We're gonna fly in Friday. We'll be there Saturday, Sunday to work with Jody and rock that booth.
I'm going to be in Aquascaping in Jersey on the Saturday only. I can't do the Sunday. George, where are you going? Are you going to Aquascaping?
Chicago.
You're going to go to Chicago? You're going for? Yeah. Is it 2 days in Chicago?
Yeah, I think we're coming in Chicago on Thursday, and then Friday, I got to go do the sightseeing with the family. Okay. And then because my wife and my daughter are coming in with me, and then Saturday, and I don't know how much of Sunday, but yeah, I'll be there.
So if anybody in the chat's wondering if we're going to be there at Aquascaping between Chicago and New Jersey, Jersey's first, and then Chicago's at the end of the month. At least you'll know which ones we'll be at. If you wanted to come hang out, we will be there. I'll be wearing my Aqua Intuition t-shirt because why not? I'm sure Ray's going to wear his Fins for Grins t-shirt.
Well, I'm going to be working Jody's booth, so I'm going to have an Uncle Joe shirt on most of the time. And of course,
you can wear your
Fins for Grin and Uncle Joe's. I'll make some shirts.
There we go.
Are you going to be setting up a booth in Chicago, Jody?
Yeah. Yes, so I am.
I'll be lurking around there. I know we talked about probably trying to do some live streaming from there too. So we'll see if that happens.
Yeah, I would like to do a live stream on the Saturday from Aquascaping on TikTok. So I'm hoping I'm going to do that for people. Who has a booth where?
Oh, Kyle, outside in aquatics. I got to do a plug real quick.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Fish Room Punks. If you don't know about Fish Room Punks, you need to go check them out. Kyle, what he's kind of done is he's got this little project where he's making trading cards that are themed with the aquarium hobby. and the inspiration for them is the Cabbage Patch Kids.
Oh, I love those things.
Cool.
That's kind of the inspiration with
Oh,
the
that's
aquarium
cool.
hobby.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Collector
Next
little
guest.
trading cards that he's got out there. He does have like retail storefront kits that he sells for
I
people
saw
that
them
live in
online.
Ireland. Yeah.
I would like to sell them on my website. That'd be so fun. Grant had some at Grant has some events
On the
and stuff,
floor.
but it would be cool to have on the website if I could just keep my fingers out of them. So yeah,
But you mean it's like garbage pail kids kind of thing?
they are, Tina. You got to
Yeah.
see
The
them.
garbage pail
Let
me-
kids cards.
Give me a second. I'm gonna go grab mine.
Yeah,
Oh my God, yes,
I
go grab one.
I follow him online. He makes really cool videos. He's so calm when he talks. He's like some.
Yes.
It's super. Oh, he's in here. I'm
We
fanboying
got
out, but he does do cool videos. He's like,
We got a couple questions in the chat. One of them is this podcast going to be weekly? And it is.
Yes.
it is.
It is,
It
yeah.
is.
We'll be here weekly. Come hang out with us.
Matter of fact, I have the second episode almost ready for that.
And the
So,
other question
yes.
was, who was this that was doing the trading cards? Who was doing that? Is it
Oh,
outside in
I'm
aquatics?
assuming it's outside in aquatics. I
Yes, he said Kyle.
yes, he did. And alls I know is that I don't know. Yeah.
You have a link, definitely
Anybody.
share it in the
So we
chat.
have Monster Fish Gal can definitely share his link.
There we go.
I don't know that all of the different names. I get so confused, you guys, because people have YouTube names, they have Facebook names, they have TikTok names, they have Snapchat names, and then they have human names. And I'll look at somebody and they'll be like, "Hey, this is Cam Jamma Mama," and I'll look and I'll be like, "Huh?" And then she'll be like, "It's Carly," and I'll be like, "What is this,
Let me
Trish?"
see
You
that.
know, it's so different.
Put
Yeah,
your
those
hand
are
on it.
so
let me-
cool.
Big on you. Make
Like
this
that.
Yeah,
screen
let
take a second.
Yeah, no, I gotta have to get rid of I'm gonna burst the bubble and get rid of my fake background.
I mean, yeah, we want to see these. These
I
are
am the
cool.
only
We
real
have
bad. Well, no,
aquariums,
Brittany,
everybody. He lied. Look at that.
There you go.
Thank you,
I
Monster
pulled back
Fish
the
Gal.
veil.
He looks like he's living in like a one-room apartment. That's so funny. All right, let's see it. You gotta make
Yeah,
it bigger
it's
so we
the
can
spare bedroom in the house because it's too hot in the garage. Normally, I stream out of my fish room, but
see. That's
Oh, yeah.
Jody.
Oh
I
my
need to do
gosh,
that, sorry.
guys, it's Uncle Joe
I do
here.
that.
There he goes. All right, let's see it.
We have a we
Oh, wait,
we
why
have.
is he big?
Did you know?
Don't we have music that we could play a drum roll?
What is going on?
I don't know.
Are we doing a
There
drum
we
roll?
go. All right. So this is the backside of the cards.
Oh,
And then
Oh my God, that's cool.
these are all different, and they have different
fish room punks.
inspirations behind them. This
Paulie's
Pumped
Predators.
Paulie's Predators.
Dude, that is so
I
cool.
love it.
yeah.
I love it.
That
Dude,
is-
we need some of those in the shop. We need them.
yes,
in the
Here's
you
shop.
another
do,
one,
Frank.
and some of these
I know.
some of
I
these
was-
are actual YouTube channels. So you'll have some of the some YouTube personalities.
That's how I knew who Jeff
he's
Kane
got
was
some
because of that
special-
card.
Those are great. You have more? You gotta show some more. Come on.
And
you gotta
once
show
in a while he'll throw like special cards which are like one of, and they'll be like the original hand drawings
Oh,
Oh
before
my
they
God.
become the concept
Can I
cards.
say that looks like a penis? But I'm not supposed to say that.
No, say that on TikTok.
No, it's a peanut. It's a finger. It's a
That's-
finger, and it's
That's
It's-
awesome.
the story behind that is we have
wet floor after dark.
gentleman that has a YouTube channel, and he has the thing about saying finger. He says he calls them fangers or something like that. So that's kind of a nod to him. He's going to be in
Fangers.
Chicago. That is Salt and Lushy. That's Stefan. He's another
Oh my
YouTuber.
God, Serene scene. That is
so, you know,
awesome.
That
this is
is
another
those are so
personality
cool.
type that's in the hobby.
Betsy Beta
Betsy
Pulse.
Beta Bowles.
Oh my gosh,
She was just in this week.
Betsy, I love
Here's
the
another one.
eyes.
Oh my God.
There's
Petunia's
Petunia
Oh my
Puffers.
God.
She was here
Well,
too this week.
They're
Yeah,
so
he's
fun.
got there's so many of them.
Does he sell them in
You got to go
packs?
check out his website. He sells them in packs. Right now, he's got a booster pack. That's probably
my
the
God, I
best
need
way to
this.
get started.
All right.
I need this. If you did you put your link in the chat? This is link in the chat because I need to see.
His YouTube is. Yeah.
I totally need to buy that.
Yeah,
That is-
we'll definitely
He's got a
put it
website.
in.
Making
If
legends.
we can get somebody to send me that too, I'll link those all in the description for the video too. That's pretty cool. We'll definitely
God.
throw those in there.
That's awesome.
That is
Everybody should be able to enjoy those.
I want Betsy
All
Beta
right, I got to go
balls.
back to.
There's the website right there, you guys.
That was just totally cool. I'm definitely going to order.
Right
100%,
on.
man.
Wow,
We're-
one day if you
Back again.
if you keep fish really, really good, you could be a fisherman punk too.
That's my new goal, is to be a fish room punk.
Well,
You know?
dude, now what do you like? Now what? Now what do you like?
I just
You know
What am
you
I
made
gonna
it when
have?
you
What
get
do
a
I
fish
have?
room punk.
What do you have to do? New life mission. Dun, 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 you know. That
Oh,
is
check it
so
out.
cool.
Right. Make sure you highlight that. Anyone that places an order from this stream, I will BOGO your individual packs.
Oh, right
Yeah,
on.
put that
Oh,
up
okay.
on the screen.
Pop
What
We
that
are
up.
will from the live or from afterwards, outside in also.
Basically wrote on the order from the stream, I guess. So if you click in there right now,
From the live, that's what I mean, from the live or the replay though. We probably leave that, so we'll put a note on there in case anybody rewatches it and tries to order later.
right, it's made just for the live.
Well, I mean, I gotta order some of those. We should
Oh, I
tell
have to.
Brian at that super cool mom and pop pet store here in Cape Coral, Florida on Hancock Bridge Parkway that he could have a display of fish room punk cards in his pet shop too.
Soon to be at Fins for Grins.
Oh,
yeah.
they have to be
Oh
right.
yeah,
I got to
These
get that
are-
by mama.
These are astronomically cool. You have to get them. I think kids would love it. It's just so cool. I'm telling you, I want the beta one.
Yeah, so he says just mention this live stream in the comments on the order. So mention this
Okay.
live stream if you order. Just mention that you were here on the wet floor, and he will give you the BOGO. Is it the BOGO?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
a BOGO.
Yeah, I guess I was meaning if people could watch the replay also, but I'm just gonna go with the live stream. I'm gonna get mine ordered, and I'm gonna mention the live stream. I definitely was here.
yep.
Yeah.
My name is Jody. I'll be placing an order this evening.
I think you need an Uncle Joe's fish shed card. Just saying.
Oh, good Lord, we got to work. I've seen those cards. There's a lot of work to be done to get there. I think. I don't think those are just handed out.
I
But
think it'd
Yeah,
be really
absolutely.
cool.
Absolutely.
yeah. I don't know. Thank you so very much. Thanks for showing us those, George. That was awesome.
Well,
Yes, that was totally awesome.
They're my favorite. I guess non-fish stuff. You know, that doesn't go in the aquarium, but it's a side part of the hobby that I really love.
So
Just the
you
names
got to
get-
travel to all the old mom and pop shops that hardly anybody goes to find like Series 1 and stuff or something, you know, like you had to do with the Matchbox cars. Is that a thing still?
Well,
You'd be out
If I'm
hunting
not
them down and be like, look at what I got at Finsford and Series, but you're busy.
There's-
You wouldn't have Series 1.
there's actually a group on Facebook that is intended to trade extras to be able to collect sets.
Oh, okay.
So,
Cool.
and it's under Fish Room Punks. Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong on that. But the whole idea of that whole page, channel, whatever you want to call it, is precisely so that you can go there and exchange cards with
Ooh.
other hobbyists.
You can get posters of your favorite card.
What?
Yes.
That's
Oh,
freaking
that's it. I want.
Well, now I
Betsy Beta.
want to.
Betsy Beta's mine.
I think we should just all pause really quick, go order some cards.
order
If
some.
we could, or we should order them. We could do a live fish card
We're gonna
pull
blow
just
up the
for fun.
website here.
We could just sit and pull them for fun. Oh, you know, 'cause they do the Pokemon cards. I mean,
Yeah.
why not? Oh my gosh.
Speaking of
That'd
that,
be
we
totally
had
cool.
Pokemon trading going on in the fish room this weekend.
Seriously?
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
Right
We had
on.
spouses looking at fish, other spouses doing Pokemon trading.
My gosh. You guys, this is right on.
I totally want that. But I want to see, can I see? I need to have that Betsy card. Anyway, it's
Fish
still in
room
my
punk
head.
card, yeah.
You guys, this is going to be great. So many. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Jody.
Well, I was just sitting here. Now I'm getting sidetracked thinking how I'm going to ever get on a fish room punk card. But you guys know Uncle Joe does this and gets sidetracked every once in a while.
Kyle needs to make an Uncle Joe's fish shed card.
Yeah, someday. Uncle Joe's got a long way to go. So a question. We can this will kind of like what we kind of maybe think about ourselves here a little bit. We'll get into this. George, what do you think that you're going to bring to offer to the wet floor and to everybody that the other three of us can't, besides the obvious of producing a show?
I'm gonna bring down the intelligence in this group.
Hardly.
Right on. I mean, you keep your eye on the prize.
I don't know. I don't know. I think I don't know. I think we're pretty sort of equals when it comes to some of the knowledge. I mean, there's only so much knowledge, superficial knowledge that you can know, and I think we all have a pretty good grasp on the basic stuff. It's just when you start, diving into more specific areas, I guess. But I guess for me, I can probably say that I'm going to bring community, and that's just because one of my things that I always do is reach out to new people in the hobby that are especially content creators that are starting up. I try to spotlight their channel, try to promote them. So that inherently creates, I guess, an audience because they, tend to watch what I do. And I think that's what I can, more than outside of just some of my experiences, I think that would be it. And some of the community that I've been able to build over the years.
I would like you to bring stuff like you just did now. I had no idea about this person's cards. Things like that are so cool. Like if you know more cool stuff that we are just
I do.
Of, please
I do.
I got a friend of mine that sells
for days.
So, Aquafunk, if go to Aquafunk Aquatics, best deal you're going to find, especially if you got multiple tanks. If you're looking to feed an entire fish room, you got to go check out them, and it's quality food. It's not filler stuff.
Okay.
Very, very cool.
I've heard good about his food. What do you think, Tina? What are you going to bring here that none of us can bring?
I'm going to bring laughter. I'm going to bring sarcasm, and I'm going to bring a lot of question. There's going to be a lot of times we're going to be talking, and I'm going to want to know whys to things because that's just how I am. So I'm going to bring a lot of question, and I will also, I don't know, question. I'm going to say question. That's what I'm going to bring because I like to know things. So I'm going to ask all the time something.
Lots of whys.
Yes. Like I want, like I told you the other day, I want to know why. I want to know why my fish know, my angel fish know how to do what they're doing. Like how they have the brain the size of like their eyeball. I don't understand how they naturally know how to do this parenting thing that they're doing. That's why I want to know. I've been reading and reading and reading because I want to know. How does the female know to fan the leaves with her?
That was fanning.
Like, how do they know to do that? Like, I look at all that and I'm like, is it just?
I thought we were doing.
Like, how does this happen? So I want to know why. Just call me the why.
Right on. What about you, Ray? What are you bringing here that none of us are going to bring here that we can't? What do you see?
And I don't think I'm going to bring anything different. I just think I'm a little more practical in my approach.
So good,
and I'm a gear guy. I'll admit it. I love gear, but because I'm kind of a techie guy, so hopefully bring a little bit of techie stuff to the aquarium hobby and tell you some tech stuff that I've done and that kind of share with you that kind of thing. But just practical advice. Just nothing fancy.
Right on.
Yeah. Did George pull off just now?
Got to pull back here.
No, George. He's hanging out.
He stepped away for a second. That's all right.
Yeah.
I do have a question too, though, Jody. But after you talk, I have a question. So talk, and then I have a question.
What am I? Oh, am I going to talk? What am I going to? What am I going to bring to the wet floor that none of you guys can bring? Well, the wet floor. All of us together and the ideas of this. That is what the idea. And maybe I guess I'll just my personality. I'm sorry, but I'm just going to say that I am really good at meeting people and networking and stuff like that. So I think through the people that I've networked with, I offer a lot of value, and I can bring a lot of people like George can. He's networked with a lot of YouTubers and stuff like that that people already know. And I've networked with a lot of people that the science guys that do the breeding, that go out and do collecting and stuff like that. And then I have the aspect of running like an online business in years of breeding, you know, I don't know how many fish, you know. So again, you know, we're all still bringing the same thing here together in my mind, and that's why I chose to align with who I did. We're all bringing compassion, caring, understanding, and you know, knowing that we're not always right, and knowing that we're able to learn from one another and from others. I know a story about somebody who owns a fish store that didn't know how to tie fish bags, and one day a fish customer of his came into his store and said to him, "Sir, would you like me to teach you how to tie fish bags?" And this guy, the humble man that he is, said, "Yes, sir, I'd love to learn how to tie fish bags." And guess what? He's a heck of a fish bag tire.
I tied the best bags ever now, baby.
He can scoop fish really well with a net. Let me tell you, because I can still do that shit well.
Yeah. So I just hope to bring positivity to it, you know, and hope that we can portray a good message, you know.
100%. Yeah. Well, that leads me to my question. What kind of people are we going to be putting on this podcast? It isn't always going to be just us four. So who are we looking to be a part of this? Like, what do you want to bring on here? You want to bring, I'm sure not just famous people, but like who else? Breeders, other hobbyists, maybe, you know, like George when he's talking about new people on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go first with who I'd like to see on here. I would imagine that we're gonna have kind of answers that go together. Maybe some things will be conflicting too, but I personally would like to when we have people on experts, if you will, in areas, you know, what is an expert? That's a whole loaded thing there. But you know, if maybe we're talking about like water quality or the nitrogen cycle, or maybe we're having like a podcast about plants and how to get rid of stuff. You know, I know this guy, he's got a really good YouTube channel. Some of you guys might have seen his channel or videos. He's with this other guy, really good looking guy. Aqualust is his name. You know, people like that have those on as reoccurring guests, but also new and upcoming people in the hobby, because that's what, when I built Uncle Joe's Fish Shed, that's what it's about. It's about community and new people that we can believe in, and that believe in themselves and believe in the hobby. You know, people like that also who I'd like to have on.
Okay.
I'd you know, guests would be fun too. People from the chat after a while. I mean, the sky's the limit.
Do you guys have any ideas on who you want to try to invite next?
I mean, I guess I just did it all, but I'd like to have breeders on and people with big fish rooms. That's who I'd like to have on for guests.
What about Ray?
So, I would like, there's a lot of people in this hobby that are not known, they're not on social media, but have absolutely beautiful fish operations. Some of them are in this chat. Some of them are TikTokers, some of them aren't. But I think it's those people that help keep this hobby going. And I think if we can kind of bring some of those people into the chat or as guests, I think it shows people that, hey, I'm just like them. I can do that. You know, I could do that in my garage or, you know, whatever. But those are the kind of people I would hope. And then I would like to get some maybe some vendors on here. Tell us what's coming.
Yeah.
That would be good.
You know, give us some things that you know they're going to meet them at Aquashella, but not everybody in this chat or is able to travel to Aquashella, or whether they're 4 times a year, you might not get there.
Their pet stores just don't have it.
Yeah,
there's no way for them to know or to be able to get it.
No. And when a vendor comes in and says, "Hey, I'd like to do training for you in the store," I love it. I welcome it. And we've been fortunate to have one of them here, and it was great. And we can't do that all the time, but we could do it here. And we could have them be at their home. They wouldn't have to necessarily be in my store. They could be wherever they're at. And let's do a training of whatever, what's the new product line coming out for next year? I know there's several companies bringing out with new products in September, October, November, just in time for Christmas that people are going to go bonkers for.
Right.
So,
George, is there anybody in particular that you would want as a guest on here that you could bring?
Yeah, I want to bring in like Kyle right now that we were talking about his stuff that he's doing.
Heck
Personalities. I know a lot of personalities. I know people that are doing different stuff, people that are starting their own businesses, that are focused for the community, kind of spotlight them. I mean, I've been very fortunate that over the past 4 years, I've kind of built this big Rolodex of different people and personalities and stuff like that I think we could tap into and just have them come on, and they're gonna be interesting.
That would be very, very cool. I like all that, and I also would like bring. Actually, I think what was it, Jody? Did you post it today? When you were looking for people's horror stories, because you wanted them so we could talk about it on the podcast. I would love to get hobbyists even on here as a guest. If we did like a horror story, like maybe like on Halloween or something, we'll do like a horror story podcast where we could actually have guests that talk about their worst ultimate
fish room tragedies.
Yeah,
just one, just one,
or 2 or 3.
Fish room tragedies.
You put everybody in the chat though. It'd be horror story for Halloween. Just saying. But our next podcast, though, the episode.
But if it's for Halloween, we got to wear costumes.
Oh,
I already told that to Jody.
100%.
1,000%.
I'm dressing up as George.
You have to point the other way. Did you know that?
Say that again.
Yeah. If he points that way at George on the screen, George is over there.
On my screen, he's right there.
I know that's so weird. I try to point up at the little QR code.
I feel like we're on the Brady Bunch.
Oh
Are
my
God.
No, what I was going to say is the next podcast that we're going to do next week. If anybody's interested, because I'm going to be posting the graphic later. It's going to be basically what the internet tells us. It's going to be kind of that kind of a podcast, like what has the internet had told you on how to become an amazing aquarist. So I have that ready to go, and I'm gonna, when I do that episode next week, I'm definitely want a lot more audience participation. So I'm kind of creating it that way. So if you join back next week, you will be involved.
So did we decide on the frequency of how often we're going to do these? I thought it was like every other week, but I don't know. I don't think
George got the memo.
No, I didn't. So it's every week.
George is like, you guys are burying me. We're like, hey, George, I have an idea for you. He's like, I got it. He's like, I'll help you. And so then all of a sudden I lay it on to him, and I can't remember what the text said, but he was smiled about it. He's like, whoa. And I was like, you got this? He's like, oh yeah. He's so fast at it,
my only concern, and this is from doing this for quite some time, is burnout is real.
Oh,
burnout is real. And I've tried projects where we do it every week, and it starts off really strong. 3 months into it, it starts petering out.
We'll be running seasons and stuff. We'll have time. We'll have to take time off. We can skip.
And not only that, though, we can have days off. I mean, we could do a week where George is like, I need downtime this week. And that's fine.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Ray can turn around and say, I need my me time. No problem. And just, we'll obviously have guests or whatever, and things will work. That was one thing I told you, Jody, in the beginning. It needs to be very focused on not just enjoying this moment, but also realizing that we have jobs, we have lives, We have
Heck
families.
yeah.
We have lots of things, and that makes this podcast very real, because anybody that's in the audience to understand, we're not just going to come here sometimes every week in full, because we have lives, and we have.
And that's the kind of people we want to attract, are people that have lives like us too.
Yes.
We'll work on getting this out to them on different platforms when we can.
Yep.
When we get around to it. But I hear what you're saying, George. You guys.
Yes.
How's about we just ask some quick little rapid fire questions here?
That works.
Yeah.
This also includes the audience, whoever's left in the audience right now.
We can, if we have them any ready to throw up there. I don't remember. We'll just start and play around robin around the room. We'll start with Ray. Fresh or salt water?
Oh, fresh all the way. Because, in apocalypse, you can drink the water.
You can. That's why my pets are all named after food in case of an apocalypse.
Exactly.
George, freshwater or saltwater?
So right now it's just freshwater. I'm afraid of saltwater. It's a slippery slope. It gets expensive real quick.
It does. Freshwater is the best water. Tina, freshwater, saltwater?
We are doing freshwater because we had a bad experience. My husband did with saltwater, lost power, lost all his fish, everything died. He doesn't want to do that again. It was very expensive.
Yeah, that just seems like a crushing blow, the time and the work involved. Not saying it's not crushing when we lose regular freshwater fish, but that just seems really dry. Like I read what I read and I see what I see, and I'm freshwater all the way. We all keep freshwater, so I would think our answers would all gravitate to that. But we could have a secret dark side. One of us could be
Ocean
like,
has a good
I love
viewpoint
the
on that.
looks of saltwater. I love the colors of the fish. I love the corals. I think it's beautiful. I don't want it in my house.
So in your freshwater systems, George, do you keep sand, gravel, or bare bottom? Sand or gravel is the question.
Everything. It's like I forgot who commented on it. I think it was it Stan, or the whole idea of having multiple tanks is because you can try different stuff. I purposely did that because I got tired of hearing people always say you can't do that. And I'm the type of, my personality is, the minute you tell me you can't, it's kind of like, well, I'm going to prove it to you that it can be done. So I've experimented. My fish room has sort of been like a lab for me. I've done bare bottoms, I've done gravel, I've done sand, dirt, whatever is out there that's trending. I've done under gravel.
Whatever's trending.
Yeah, whatever people are saying that's out there, I've tried it. Well, almost everything.
You like to try new stuff.
Yeah, I just needed to find out for myself if it's really true what they're saying that it can be done. I made the mistake when I first came back to pay attention to some of the bigger channels, thinking that they knew what they were talking about, only to find out that they're full of shit. And so I had to find out for myself, and that's when I just started. I don't the minute that somebody starts trying to tell you that it has to be done that way, I tell everybody, my advice is turn around and run. You don't want to, you don't want to listen to that person.
Yep.
Agree.
Ray, personal preference and shop. You get to answer twice.
What do you mean? Personal preference on
sand or gravel? Well, I mean, I would imagine. Go ahead, sand.
My personal preference is sand. I like a deeper sand in a tank, but in the shop, probably gravel. We have a little bit of everything here in the shop, so we have to, so people can see different things. We have some aqua soil tanks. We have some. The only thing I don't have is a dirted tank, like a Wallstead method or Fatherfish method. I don't have any of those here, but we do have gravel. We have aqua soil tanks. We have sand tanks, all the different things, so people can kind of see, hey, I really can grow plants in that gravel, or I really can grow plants in sand. I don't need aqua soil, so those kind of things. So you can actually see different options. So, but if I was going to do a tank, I'd do sand.
Right on. Miss Camacho, do you have an opinion on sand or gravel?
I'm not a big fan of gravel. I prefer sand, but I prefer sand capping on aqua soil when I'm doing plants. I do have a tank with just sand, and I'll put root tabs and stuff like that in it. But as far as sand or gravel, I just prefer sand. I like the smoothness of it. I like how clean it looks. It's just easier to clean also for me. And I find it easier to hold my plants well with the sand. I can kind of like, make little mounds around it nicer. And I'm just not a fan of gravel at all. I'm really not.
Oh, right
I agree
on.
with Divide by Zero on that one. Yeah, absolutely.
What is
His
some of
answer, yeah, Divide by Zero says his answer depends on the tank. He prefers sand in tanks that are for breeding and bare bottom for grow out and quarantine. Yeah, Anthony is a little in-depth breeder, so he is right now with the geos and stuff, a lot of sand sifting fish at his house, and I can see that, wanting that. And definitely the quarantine and the grow outs being bare is just so much easier when you have to clean up. Here, I have to use everything also. Quarantine, incoming, outgoing, they're all bare bottom. Grow outs, bare bottom, and then I move them in. But my personal preference is I like sand. I like the fish can sift through the sand and stuff. I'm learning more and more about plants. Plants seem to be harder to grow in sand for me, so I do better growing plants in there. But for me, it's definitely, I would say, sand. I do like the sand.
One more round.
I am almost just gonna just one more. Oh my gosh.
Just one more.
Okay. How about now you have me here. What's one fish that you guys want to keep that you've never kept? I like asking everybody that, so we're just gonna ask us that.
Oh God, I don't even know.
Go ahead, Ray. I'm just
stingrays. I'd love to have stingrays.
Freshwater rays?
Yeah, freshwater. Unfortunately, they're not legal here in Oklahoma. So, someday.
You guys have some odd fish that I noticed on the list that can't be shipped to Oklahoma that surprised me.
Yeah.
But I mean, every state has their few. How about you, Tina? Is there anything that you'd want to keep that you haven't kept, or that you want to, but maybe you even wouldn't?
I would. Okay, so I had to think about this for a second. So I have a real fascination and affinity to large pleco, and I wish I had the ability to have a pond or a very large freaking swimming pool that I could keep common plecos and big plecos. They're like Muppets to me. Like I literally wish I could pick them up and hug them. I love the way they look. They're beautiful. So I wish, of all fishes to keep, I would wish I was able to keep a very large pleco.
Big plecos are cool. Adonis plecos are super, super cool. I guess when they're big, they're kind of plain looking, but boy, they're huge. We sold some of those at Aquascaping, and I got fish tank photos from the people before they could take them. And 600 gallons was where I was at, and I'm surprised at the amount of people who have 600-gallon fish tanks, actually. And I photo proof of them at home in front of the tank. The people came back. The groups did the next day.
Right.
Yeah. It's surprising to me how many people do have monster tanks. It's crazy.
I know.
Yeah,
we've had people here for big fish, like red-tailed catfish. We've had them. Do you have the tank to take care of it? Because I don't want it back. I don't have the tank to take care of it.
No, like, let me see your tank.
Exactly.
It's hard because I kept so many fish, and I've sold so many fish. But something that I would like to keep that I have stocked and have sold is I would like to get a giant puffer someday, but I want to grow it out. I want to grow a couple of them out. The thing is, though, is I want to get a group of them and grow them out, and I know that I'm only going to end up with a couple in the end. So that'll probably stop me pretty good. I don't know for sure. So that's just something that you can always dream about and have in your mind, you know. Other fish that I've wanted before, when I've actually got them, I really don't think people should have them. You know, they're just altogether too big and stuff like that. And they're exciting on the outside, and they look really super cool on TikTok and on Instagram. Oh yeah, look at that big, huge 25-inch white and red pacu. Let me tell you what, you got to feed that. You have to house it, and you have to clean it.
Conrad has a good
100%.
question.
Yeah.
In the chat.
Yeah.
We should. Yeah. I'll see if George wants to put it up there. How long have y'all been in the hobby?
I put it up.
Yeah.
Conrad asks, go ahead, Tina. Start with Tina. We'll go around.
I started at around 7 and I've been on and off ever since. And I really picked up back into it probably about a year or two ago, where I went back into it more full-time hobby.
So how many years has that been?
Since I'm 7, I'm 52. Long time.
I was just trying to get. I was gonna make everybody do the math. I thought we were beating around the bush there.
I'm an old.
George, how about you answer again? I know George said something in the beginning, but for all the people that weren't there in the beginning,
like to the scale that I'm now, I guess from like around 2016. So whatever that is, what, 10 years?
10 years. You kept fish before that?
If you want to call it that, the fish survived.
Well, I mean, you know, some people fish survived for like 20 years.
I didn't even know the nitrogen cycle existed until recently. So, you know, until I got back into the hobby. So I used to do, I kid you not. I mean, because the tank used to be in the living room. The condition that my mom had told me is that tank better not smell, because that was what she was always opposed to, is the smelling tank. So the time that I did water changes is when my mom would go, hey, if you don't clean that, I'm gonna throw it out tomorrow. So I don't know. And then it was the empty everything out, you know, wash all the gravel out, scrub down all the inside of the aquarium, everything you're not supposed to do. That's what I'm saying. To say that I kept fish, no. That I was able to have fish that survived, yes. And it was only for, thankfully, it was only for about a year and a half.
Yeah. He says they survived. How about you, Ray?
To the level we're at now, I'd say we started probably 6 years ago. Did you say, babe? About, you know, this level. No, but growing up, kind of like George, I had a tank in my room when I was a teenager. And the only time I cleaned it is when my mom said, your fish tank is stinking. And I had 3 iridescent sharks in a 45-gallon tank, and they were big. They were big. Yeah. So totally did what you shouldn't do.
Yeah, they were cool, huh?
You didn't know anything back then. You know?
Yeah.
And then just the tank as I was a kid. The funny thing that I did when my dad had a tank, he had a tank with really big angels, and we took some minnows home from the Ohio River. And he said, yeah, I don't know how this is going to go. Well, we figured out by the next morning, all the angels ate so much they burst. So it was not a good thing.
No.
Don't put minnows in your tank.
Ray was in trouble then.
So really, let's go with about 6-7 years. Where I actually learned what I was doing.
I just want to clear this up that I never asked anybody, Tina, how old she was. I asked how long she was keeping fish.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm proud. I'm proud. I'm proud 52, and I'm proud in menopause, and I'll tell everybody that, and I don't care as I'm sitting here sweating, wiping my head.
I think I've been keeping fish for like 46 or 47 years.
Yeah.
I started keeping fish when I was a kid, the bait, like I said, and that was definitely to keep them alive, not just for survival. And it was a little bit more tricky because they needed to stay in cooler water. But my pops was bound and determined that on opener, after I got my first fish tank, that he was going to be one of the guys out there with shiners from the winter to be able to fish walleyes. And guess who had shiners for opener for fishing for a couple of years. It was really super neat. A lot of work though to have somebody, go and use them for fishing, but it was all right. So that's how long I've been keeping fish. You guys, we're starting to wrap on time. We're going to go a little bit over. So, we can go around and tell like what's everybody got going on this week. Where are you going to be? Any shout outs to anybody? Start with our editor up there. Thank you, Tina, for bringing this all together tonight. I just want to thank you so much. And what do you have going on this coming up week? Where can we find you? And what do you want us to know?
This week, I'm going to be babysitting my babies and see if they actually live. So if anybody follows me on TikTok, I will be posting daily updates of my nursery for my angelfish. And if they don't survive, I will also call that a learning experience as well, because they are left in a natural habitat. So things can happen, and I want people to be aware of that. But if you want to follow me with that, I'll be posting that every day. And on Sunday mornings, I do my coffee and morning coffee live. So on TikTok. So you can find me at 7 in the morning, usually with my community tank. And I will show off all my tanks. And you can come find me on Sunday morning.
Oh my gosh, how fun. You guys, anybody here that watches the replay or in here now, if you guys see me and Tina's live on Sunday morning, say hi, tell me you were in here, remind me, and we'll think about like tossing some wet floor swag somebody's way. We'll do a little something. How about you, George? What do you have going on this week? I know you have a few things and a few places people can come and see you at.
I'm going to be honest. I've kind of been lazy on my channel. I haven't really set up any interviews as of late. But I guess the only regular thing that I have now is this, obviously. And then every other Thursday night. So not this Thursday, but next Thursday, I do the live stream with the guys from Mexico. And, you might not learn a lot, but you're going to have a good time and you're going to laugh. And it is in Spanish. It is in Spanish. But
Man.
that's kind of what I have right now. That is a regular reoccurring thing.
Ray, you have to check it out. I don't speak Spanish.
I don't either.
But he is 100% correct. It's fun, and for some reason you will laugh when they laugh, and it's bizarre. Thank you
paid
so much.
attention in those 4 years of Spanish class I took, but
I know it's super cool.
I didn't.
Well, we'll be able to have we can't do a Spanish podcast. None of us will be able to understand. What do you have going on this, Ray? What's special going on at Fins for Grins or with you?
So you can find me tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. bright and early. So on TikTok, Fins for Grins 2 is where we are at every morning, 6 to 7:30 a.m. ish. Because sometimes we go a little later and sometimes go a little longer. And so, but yeah. So I'll be there. You come in here, we chat fish, we talk, answer questions, kind of what we do here. But we walk around, we look at tanks, we show you some of the tanks we have in the store. We just have fun. And just a huge shout out to everybody from my channel that came in. I know we have a lot of cross channels, but we appreciate everybody coming over from those channels over here into the podcast, because it means a lot to me, and I appreciate you all being here.
Definitely.
Yeah, you guys.
We're just doing fish stuff. We got fish coming in tomorrow, and we'll be putting fish and plants away. So lots of fun to be had.
Very, very cool.
I can't wait to see what you get in tomorrow. I have an idea. I might know a couple of them.
I think I know. Yeah, some of what we're getting in tomorrow.
Yeah. So are you guys in the chat watching this live or later? If you guys aren't following each and every person on here, just go at least check their stuff out and get them a follow. You guys who are here new, make sure you like this and follow this channel too. We'll be back here. I'm Uncle Joe. Hey, what I have going on this week, you guys, is I have a mess of stuff. I'm busy. I'm getting ready for Aquashella. I am so far behind, as everyone knows, trying to work with this. We'll try to get together here and get together next week's podcast and stuff like that. I'll probably throw up a couple videos now because we're doing this podcast and we're going to try to do this consistently. For those of you who do watch, like when I do live at the shed and stuff like that, I'll still work on those and do those because they're fun and focus more on like products and stuff I have or fish coming in. But yeah, that's what I'm a mess. I'm not going to be anywhere except for Fish Club stuff and like Aquashella coming up. I want to give a shout out one more time to Brian from Discount Pet and Supply in Cape Coral, Florida. Thank you so much for being our pilot sponsor and a sponsor throughout the season. You guys can find those right here. I have this little widget. You can scan it and go check it out. There'll be some links and stuff in the description to their social media and whatnot. And look for during upcoming episodes with Brian to we'll throw some sales up on there for you local people. We'll mention them up on the podcast, and if you go inside of there, he'll have something like special for you guys. That's about it for today, and
Yes.
I appreciate it, you guys. Tonight was really about introducing ourselves, and from here we're going to get into the hobby. We're going to talk more about fish, plants, fish stores, breeding, water, aquarium science, things we've done right, things we've done wrong. There's going to be a lot of things that we're going to disagree on. There's going to be things we agree on. One thing for sure is we're all going to learn and grow together. We want to build the wet floor, a strong community here, and I'm really excited for this. Whether you're a brand new aquarist or a seasoned vet, I'm sure that we'll have something here to offer you. You guys enjoy the ride. Thank you so very much.
Thanks, everybody. See you next week or tomorrow morning.
See you guys. Right on.